I'll get to it in a second. Ashley, wait a minute. You've called before. Hello.
Oh, hello.
How are
I thought I
you?
would. I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually a little under the weather,
Okay.
but
What do you got for me?
uh, since I was the topic of discussion, I
Uh,
wanted to
you,
call in.
you were a lead in, but the discussion was about submission.
Yes, yes, I understand that. So I wanted to clear a couple things up. I think I think in impassioned, I came across a bit aggressive, and that is not my
Well, how?
intention.
First off,
I think
I didn't ask you yesterday, but
what
how old are you?
I'm 32.
Mm, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think I was trying to get a lot in the conversation in, a short amount of time that I thought I had. But I don't, I was a little amused by the comment saying I'm a feminist. I don't think I am a feminist. I don't think we're equal. If I'm calling for help, I would
Well,
not want to
let
find.
me say this then, Ashley. Most black women don't identify as being outwardly feminist,
Oh, okay.
but if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, has feathers,
I don't
because
even,
I
yeah.
just listen, ma.
Yeah, I'm
The
listening.
things you're saying were right out of the feminist handbook.
Well, you know what? I was listening to our conversation over and
Mm-hmm.
again today. And what I am battling is the fact that when I see my sisters, Black women, look miserable, like they haven't progressed.
Okay, I think I remember who this woman is. She called in not too long ago and was sitting there trying to put down men and blame everything on men and saying, well, this is the reason why the world is what it is. But again, this is going to be interesting. If it was anything like the last one, I know this is going to be interesting.
Every time I encounter them, they're angry, they're bitter, they want a Birkin bag but have a Walmart
Why is that your
mentality.
cross to bear?
You know what? I'm trying to. Once you were talking about it, I was like, why do I feel like I have that?
I said it earlier. Maybe you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear you.
It's success. It's survivor guilt. You grew up in a two parent household.
Yes,
You had a mother and father. Where'd you go to college?
University of Akron.
Right. And you're 32. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Dress size.
6.
Right. And you're a dancer.
A dancer?
Are you? Do you dance?
No, I don't dance at all. I've never
Okay.
danced in my life.
Um. Well, are you in shape?
Uh, and I'm in shape. Yes, I
All
run
right.
nightly.
All right. So most people would. You look at most black women. They don't have your experience.
You're
You
right.
quote unquote made it. And what we
You're right.
tell people in the black community is to feel guilty because they made it. And I say,
Uh,
you
yeah,
listen,
yeah.
your mother and father didn't do what they did to put you in a position for you to take on burdens that you didn't live.
I never thought of it that way.
Of course not, because we happily heap survivor's guilt on successful people. That's why one of the first things that happen when a black man make it, somebody, oh man, hook me up. We the only race that does that. To the
Well,
extent
and I
we
think that,
do,
and would you agree with me that in our progression as Black people to get better, that we do have to help others, or do we just
well,
leave
how
all
about
of
this?
them?
When was your last relationship?
4 years ago,
How long did it last?
about 5 to 6, but there was multiple breakups.
5 to 6 what?
Oh, years.
Why didn't you guys get married?
So he was older, much older,
Okay, that
and
means he's alive. That's not an
but I was gonna.
excuse. I
That
mean,
is an excuse, but I was gonna say with that he was an alcoholic, and I, with no experience,
all right.
didn't really understand it to that degree.
Okay, but
A
see, when you
DU
say
past
he was,
DUIs.
but see, when you say he was older, him being older had nothing to do with alcoholism. That just,
Well, I don't think I would have. I don't
uh,
think I would have stayed as long as I did if he was my
did
age.
your parents meet him?
Yeah, they hated him.
All right. then
But then they hated them at the beginning, but then they enjoyed them.
all right.
All right. Your parents hated him and he was an alcoholic, but he still was able to get 3 to 5 years out of you. And again, you're going to take this foolishness, move on to the next man, and then demand higher. And say, hey guys, I put up with an alcoholic for 3 to 5 years that my parents hated. But here I come, baggage and all, and that trauma, and I'm going to dump it onto you to figure out.
After we've been together for so many years.
My ultimate point is this.
Tell me.
You have a very strong personality.
Yeah.
Which is kind of out of the feminist handbook. So you wouldn't do well with a guy like myself because I'm not going to allow you to question me like you like to question. I'm not going to answer all these questions all day long. I got shit to do. I don't have time to keep explaining myself to you, and I don't need your. And what I need to get done does not need your 100% buy-in. That would listen.
Yeah.
See, I can't even get. See, you want to talk back and forth with me, and that's fine. And that really does. You really do operate more like a woman who's a womanist or a feminist, like we're equals.
But I just want to, when I try to interject, it is only because I'm not clear on what you're saying, because I think you're equating our conversation here to a conversation I would have with a spouse.
Yeah, I am, because you are who you are. See, that's one of the big mistakes, one of the biggest misnomers with Black women, thinking you can turn shit on and off. You are who you are. If you watch my show, you will hear Black women all the time say, well, I'll submit to the right person. No, you're not. If you're uncooperative, you're uncooperative. You are who you are.
Okay. But when
that's
you're
all
having,
of us. That's all of us.
Yeah, I agree with you. You are who you are all the time. But I think when I think about this platform you have, I thought it was to get perspectives of women, not to just have women say yes. Everything you say is true.
To get perspectives of women. But here's the thing. Do you talk to more women or do I talk to more women?
I think I talk to more women.
Oh, really? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
Oh, I run an online business.
Okay, what do you do? What do you talk to these women?
But I thought, well, I mean in everyday life.
Yeah, but see,
like
I'm a 51-year-old man. Hold on.
Yeah, well, sorry, go ahead.
I want to hear how you feel like you talk to more women than I do.
Oh, I think because of my whole life, all my friends, close
You're 32,
friends were women.
I'm 51.
It's true. That's
I got
very
20
true.
years on you. See, that's what I'm saying. And the arrogance of that comment. You sitting here listening to a Black man who has a show on YouTube that has 5,000 people talking every night. And for the last 6 months, I've been talking to women for years. You can just go take a glance. I talk to more women. I talk to more women and I work with more women. Women pay me for my advice. And I'm 20 years older than you. And I've been doing this since 1989.
Okay. Throughout life, I thought you meant currently, right now, in the state that
even
we're in
right now, I talk to more women than you. I got 4 women on the platform and 3 trying to get in.
Okay.
That's not hard, Ashley.
No, I believe you. If you say that is true, I believe that.
But you're sitting right here looking at it, and I'm like, okay, all right.
All your comments, the comments you have in your chat are all men.
Let me answer the first thing I was trying to get to, because ultimately, talking about you look at your sisters and this and that and so downtrodden. Are you happy?
Yeah, I am
Are
happy.
you full? Okay. Are you romantically happy?
Well, I think you would have to be with someone.
Excuse me?
To be romantic. I'm not with anyone.
Right. And you haven't been with anybody for how long?
For 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay, so I've dated in those years. I haven't been committed to someone in those years. But
dating does not equate to a relationship. And see, that's another thing we do very well in Black community. We can start very well. We do 3 to 6 month shit very well. We don't do long-term well. And ultimately, my point is, if you really want to help the black women that you say who look so unhappy, you help them by becoming a happy one. It's like people who say they want the black community to survive. Well, how you make the black community survive is you go marry a black man and make some black babies.
Yeah, all
And that's
about
how
it.
you
I'm
help
on
us
it.
all. And that's how
I'm on
you
it.
help. That's how you help the black women. Ultimately, you want to help them, give them something to aspire to, especially when women look at you and say, well, why can't she get it done? If she came from a
Yeah,
two-parent household and she's attractive and this, if she can't get it done, why can't I? If she's saying some of the same things, well, what are my shots?
I just feel that all my friends who are beautiful black women who have their own businesses in a variety of states, all of them, I don't see myself in them. All of them don't come from a two-parent home, don't come from the
What is
class that I
two-parent?
was in.
What does that mean though?
That both my parents were married and are still
I
married.
get
Both my
it, but
maternal and paternal. Oh, go ahead.
I get it, but you have friends who own businesses in a variety of states, so you're in a different category, but you don't see yourself in them, meaning what?
Meaning, not I don't see myself in them. They're my friends, so I do to a degree. But I see a pain there that isn't reflective to any pain that I carry about black men.
Okay, but that's fine. But what is your two-parent household? What benefit is it yielding you? Where's your husband and kids?
That's true. Where my husband and kids, I was just like what you said on your shows that I watched previously. I was in the notion that when I clock in and say I want a man, that's when I go get one.
But
And
that's
yes,
my
I can go
point,
get a
man.
man.
See,
You're right. So
that's
you're
my
right. I
point.
agree
So
with
you are, but see, what I need you to hear is you are them. See, you didn't identify as the feminist, and you come across and you have all the feminist talking points. You just don't have the membership card. And there's no
That's a good way to
way,
put it.
and there's really no way it would make a lot of sense to say, I got a bunch of friends who are PhDs.
I'm a PhD.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs, dog owners, and everything else, single as French toast, and you're not one of them. You are just like them. As far as see, here's the thing. My business is about outcomes, not about process. You like to talk a lot about process. I get to the outcome, and your outcome is the same. You had a last relationship was 4 years ago. You can date and deal with man, but you're no closer to being someone's wife today as you were 4 years ago. You said you had a 5-year relationship with a man who was older and all those other kind of things. And your mother and father did not like him. Well, apparently your two-parent household didn't help you. You didn't listen to him. So what's the point?
And this right here is why Kevin was one of the best when it came to this, because oftentimes, well, all the time, he would hold up a mirror to these people and he advised these people, okay, let's be practical. Let's be serious. You want outcomes? Let's test that. And he's been one of the best when it came to holding up that mirror and testing what people want and being realistic. And I'm pretty sure that's why all of you guys loved him as well, because he cut through the BS, gets right to the logic, right to the stats, right to being practical. And shout out to Kevin.
True.
This is why I always say therapy, because black women are your own counsel. You sit around and talk to each other, assuming that you can fix one another when you're all broken.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
So,
but I also think that in my mind, I didn't want to be just a housewife. And I saw both of my grandparents that way. My mother.
Why? What do you mean just
I just
a housewife?
didn't want it. I felt like, well, I don't mean it like that. I think they do a lot. And you're right. I didn't mean it that way. I just wanted something else to bring to the table. I just wanted something else to have another conversation about something else.
But
I don't think
hold on. Listen.
Yeah, I'm here.
What? Okay. That's what you wanted. What do men want?
You're right. Men didn't. I just came to that realization watching that men could care less what you have to say.
No, that's why.
Didn't think that.
Well, and that's why.
So that's why in my 20s, I thought I wanted to build something. So when I got to the table, I could say, well, look, this is what I have. Look what I have offering.
And
I
have
but that's the thing. operating off a thing that maybe that is what they
But the
care
thing
about.
is, and I need you to understand, you don't have time to be worrying about the sisters who have so much pain because your shit ain't together.
Okay, touche.
That's why I was telling you, you're a feminist. You're
Stop saying
listen.
that.
Don't tell me what to not say. Who the hell you
I
think you're talking to?
I think you're giving me a title. I don't.
I was giving you a title that fits.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not an insult, ma'am. A feminist. Okay? Go look up what a feminist. You advocate for women, women's
Equal
position,
rights
and it's
between
women's
sexes.
first.
Yeah.
That's a freaking feminist. And you know one
Yeah.
thing? The black women, like I said at the beginning, are susceptible to feminism early on. 14 to 21. That's when they get you. And here's the problem: when most girls are learning how to court and strategically mate, you're learning how to not to be independent from your man, not interdependent. So this is when you get off to college, and when Becky, Marisol, and Mylene are going their freshman and sophomore year, slutting it up, sport fucking their way through college. In their junior year, they square up and get a fiance. And you ladies are breaking up from your boyfriends because you're going to go move somewhere and have this fucking job that you call a career. You're not a VP of marketing. Most 80+% of women have jobs. And you have jobs all the way through until about 29, and you turn around and look, and you're unfit to be with anyone else. That's a feminist. And black women have been duped by feminism because white women, the feminists, don't even move like you guys. And you get to the point to where you're saying, well, look, I have all these things. And the thing is, where's the cooperation with the man? Show me, can you cook? Are you a great cook? Huh?
I'm a vegetarian.
Then
but I think I am a great cook.
Then you can't cook.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I'm a man. If you're a vegetarian,
yes,
then it means your family's gonna have to be a vegetarian. I want meat.
No, they don't. I haven't cooked any meat in about 8 years.
All right.
But
so effectively, if you're automatically saying that if I'm going to cook for a man, I automatically don't know how to cook some of the things that most men in this country would eat.
I think I know I can master cooking a steak again quite quickly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, we willing to do that when? After you're married?
No, I'm willing to do that now.
Well, the thing, my point is, non-black women are taught to value their men, to prepare for their men before they get them. That's why they get them. Black women are taught to deal with a man. At best, you know how to have sex with us. You don't know how to interact with us, deal with us. That's why even having conversations like this can be tense and contentious. I don't have arguments like this with non-black people, non-black women.
But are you on a platform like this asking for perspectives of women? I think you would.
Well, again, you're wrong. I've lived my life. You haven't. See, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right, sign, core parts of a black female pathology. And you have a real need to be right to where you'll even make assumptions about, I know. And how can I, and that's why I say, you think you talk to more women. I know women better than you because I'm telling you about you and I don't know you. But why am I reading you? Because I know you, because I know black women. People don't just tune into my show because I have a suit and lights.
No, I've learned a lot.
There is something missing because let's be honest. When you look in the mirror, you never thought you'd be single as French toast at this age with no viable prospects for a valuable man. But
absolutely.
You thought you would, or you didn't think you would be?
No, you're right. I never would have thought
exactly. And if women look at you and say, well, if it's going that way for her, what about me when I'm not this way? Well, it's because of what you said, why so many black women are by themselves. Your attitude, inability to cooperate, aggression, masculinity, and weight. You don't have the weight, but you have many of the other ones.
Okay. I hear you.
And all I'm saying is, what I'm saying that no one's coming to save Black women. You have to get therapy and realize this. One, the Black community was lied to. Black women bought third wave feminism, and like it or not, the history is settled. In the 60s, Black women decided to side with the government and benefits, and the Black separation has been going ever since. Black men and Black women are almost two different groups right now. Give you an example. Black women vote 98, 99% for the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
Black men are far more voting their interests. So at the end of the day, what is it going to, because you said it, I asked the question, what was it going to take for you to happily submit to a Black man's authority? And you said, oh, that's easy. I was raised in a 2-parent household. Da, 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 da. Well,
no, I was by a submissive woman.
Right, but that doesn't make you one.
Yeah. Okay. I think I am my mother. Yes, okay. I do. I would.
All right. So if I were to ask your ex, the guy you were with for 5 years, if you were submissive.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Then at 32, why have you not had a longer relationship? Have you just been off the market?
Why transitioned to LA?
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite different than I expected.
I don't know. What does that mean?
I'm coming from Ohio.
All right.
So I was a little naive to what to expect in California.
I don't know what that means, and neither does anybody else. Could you translate?
Yeah. I think it's a lot more, completely more fast-paced than Ohio.
Right.
I think I was doing very well in Ohio, and doing very well in Ohio means nothing in California.
Right.
And then I found that.
But you found
that out quite quickly.
No, yeah? So you don't have guys approaching you trying to date you?
Oh, no, that's not the case. Yes, I dated as soon as I landed.
Right.
But my focus is on building a life here. And
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Getting finances together, getting my place together, getting situated. I moved here with no one.
You mean being independent?
Being completely independent, completely away from every family.
Right. So again,
yes,
Black women have more your experience. This is not what women are supposed to do. Women are the social of the group. I mean, no disrespect, ma'am, but big picture, what do you do for a living? What's your career path? Vertical. Yeah.
Oh, where I'm going?
What's your job title?
Oh, I own a couple of online businesses.
Okay. So in what particular industries?
One is in fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And one is in development. I can't really speak on that because that's on the brink of.
I'm not trying to really, but what I'm trying to understand is many women don't have careers; they have jobs, even if and that's the point.
I get what you're going with that. Why give all
like
this to a job?
You're putting all this time into nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
I watched my ex-mother-in-law die from being a workaholic. And see, what I said earlier, Ashley, is Black women like yourself are happier, more content doing that because in places that they don't want to talk about, they know they're not good in long-term relationship.
I just don't feel like that's my story. I'm very happy to.
All right. What's the longest relationship you've had since you've been in LA? 4 years.
So dating?
Yeah.
I haven't had a relationship. I've just dated.
Okay.
The longest person I dated, I would have to think about that because honestly, the type of guys that.
But you said you had a relationship you were off and on for 5 years, and that could mean anything. Were you guys in the same city?
Oh, we were. Yes, this is when I was back in Ohio.
Okay, and what year did it end?
It's 2020. I ended in 28. So 2015, 2016.
Okay. And you guys were off and on.
Correct.
So how long were you guys really together?
That's a tough one because we were all off and on, meaning I moved away for 8 months out of state,
See,
came back.
that's why I asked were you guys in the same place. See, I know what I'm doing.
No, we were, but I moved out of state for work.
But you moved out of state that put distance. That's my
Right,
point.
that was an off.
So listen,
Mm-hmm.
what was the relationship you had before this one?
Before the one we're currently
Yeah.
talking about?
Uh-huh.
With another guy
Um,
in Ohio.
How long ago? How long did it last?
That one was like 1.5 years.
Uh-huh. And what about before that one?
And before that one, nothing. I had one, but it was probably under a year.
Right. So under a year and a half, that's 2.5 years. And even if I give you half the time, which is a push for this 5-year relationship, ma'am, you've had about 4 years worth of relationships in 32 years.
And then let's speak about the fact that she's went to LA and she was just about to get into the fact that it's been nothing serious out there. And she's basically just been passed around like a bowl of salad. So again, she has no real relationship skills. And the men that she does meet in a different place are not even taking her seriously. And it's all quick and short and nothing of substance. She's clearly not wifey or relationship material.
That's just a little bit over 10% of your life. You don't have a track record of cooperating with a man.
Mm-hmm.
But see, to you talk as if I was raised by mom and she's submissive and this and that, and I could just turn this switch. And I'm telling you, no, man,
you're right.
But I know I'm right. That's why. But listen.
I just want to say this, though. When you keep saying that, yes, you are completely right. But I didn't have that thought process at 20 when I should have been in college looking for a man. I wasn't thinking about that.
But you're
at 25,
not 20.
I still. You're right, but I'm just saying, I just realized that when you said it. That
right,
at 32,
and that's the sad part. That's the sad part.
You're right.
Because so many Black women don't realize until they're in the danger zone when it's almost over that you have the relationship skills of a 19-year-old. Most Black women in your age range have the relationship skills of someone between the age of 18 and 22. They still date like that. They still move like that. Still have the same expectations. And the thing is, the only way to get caught up is to get some therapy to understand why the court, because black women in particular, you run from relationship with suitable Black men. It's either you deal with guys that are fraught with problems that you really never have to commit to, and then you mess around and end up trying to make it work with them, or you stick your head into these careers where everybody else is realizing that not being independent, interdependent. And like you said, coming from a 2-parent household, watching people be interdependent, you seem to have gone against your core programming to end up single.
Yeah, well, that definitely could be the case. But when I went through this, I really thought that I could, when I'm ready to have a husband, I can get one. And I'll go out
feminist for you. That's the feminist mindset for you. That's the feminist mindset. I get it. I know. That's the feminist mindset. It's not that easy.
You're right. Now in LA, in a market that you said is very competitive.
Even in LA, it doesn't matter. LA or it could be in Des Moines. It doesn't work that way. That's why women that's why so many women in your age range, they can't understand why they're single. They're single because they're not fit for a relationship. And that's hard to hear. So the pain you see with women, Black women, is not Black men's fault. It's their responsibility.
You're right. And I don't think it is their fault. And I want to clarify that. I do think that every Black woman should be accountable, but it doesn't make sense for me, or it doesn't make sense when I'm looking at it or when I'm seeing it. Why don't they choose something better when better is out there? Why do they fix attributes about themselves outwardly, but nothing inwardly? And what would be the harm in every Black man, or a lot of Black men, or some Black men, or just the Black men that look as put together as you? What would be negative about approaching that woman or any woman in just a very pleasant way?
Hold on. Say that like I'm a 4-year-old.
I'm just reverting back to what we were talking about and what you mentioned earlier today in regards to, I shouldn't have to go out my way or kiss ass to a Black woman with a bad attitude. I said it politely, and that's enough. So what I'm saying is, what is the negative? If we both are viewing the same woman,
I'll tell you what the negative is.
Tell me.
I'll tell you what the negative is. It's negative to my masculine frame. I'm not going to kiss your fucking ass. It's simple.
Okay.
It's simply that. I'm not going to do it. I don't have to. I'd rather get a white woman and let you sit over and be by yourself. If you
I'm
think,
so glad you said that.
No, because that's what you thought anyway. That's why I said it.
No. I'm so glad you said white woman, because I was going to make the point that Black men would be, they go over the top.
And that's
nice
why I said
women.
it, because I knew that's what you. Guys,
don't you? So you
no,
agree?
no, ma'am. That was.
No, he doesn't agree. She obviously can't even catch on with a point because her mindset is just in that, and that's exactly what she thinks. So he fed you the bait. You guys are assuming like a man is going to treat one race better than the other. No, it's all about the femininity. But again, catching her in the trap.
That was I crossed you up. That ain't what I mean. I just said what I knew you would jump on.
So I want to know, though, you don't think that's true?
No, it's not. But it's something that you would jump on, and it would justify why he should go ahead. He'd be more willing to be cooperative and understanding of Becky than his own Black sister who's such and such. That's bullshit. Black men have gone over it, but bent over their back to try to be sympathetic, empathetic, and all these things. And what do we get? Louder, more difficult, twerking on our furniture. Black men are tired of having to kiss your fucking ass to get no cooperation. And then to hear that we should still do it just because there's no harm in it. Yeah, it is. Every time a man has to submit and kowtow to someone who has contempt or disrespect for him, it lowers him. I'm not going to lower myself, diminish my self-esteem or self-respect to somebody who has no respect and contempt for me.
Do you think all of that before you even approach someone would be that?
I don't know. Excuse me?
You wouldn't know that by approaching someone in a very charming demeanor. You wouldn't know that.
Are you kidding me?
You knew exactly when you were going to go over to her.
Are you kidding me? See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I know women better than you because you don't date women. You only deal with the women you know. I tell you what, you go into male spaces and you listen to men 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 1,000 tell the same story in and out. Black women treat Black men like crap in general. We are surprised when you're nice to us.
Stop.
What the fuck?
I don't know if.
What?
I'm gonna ask some Black men.
Wait a minute. Are you honestly trying to sit here and tell me that you don't believe that?
That Black men are surprised when Black women are nice to them?
Yes.
I do not believe that, no.
Give her 3 more, 5 more. I need you guys to comment down below. Is that not the case? Isn't it always surprising when they are? I guess me and Kevin just may be the only two.
Oh my fucking God.
Stop.
No, you stop. I tell you, no, you stop. You go to Nicole. No. You go to Nicole Michelle's channel, Black female influencer.
Nicole Michelle.
Yeah, and listen and go ask that sister what happened when you told your women of your inner beauty movement who's on their feminine journey, trying to become the best version of themselves to find a husband and do all their healing and things like this, she just asked her group of feminine ladies, hey, sis, here's an exercise. Just for a day, smile at every black man you see. Go ask that black woman what happened when she just asked feminine black women who were trying to become the best versions, just asked her to smile. That woman was eviscerated for months. And this is what I mean. You are clueless if you think that the rank and file black man gets decent treatment by the rank and file black woman. We are surprised when you're nice to us. And this is the problem, everybody that's listening. There's so many women like Ashley who are completely disconnected from the black male experience. They have no problem in continuing to ask us for fucking more. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Do you not realize what black men have already gone through? And that's what kind of galled me when we saying, well, you need to understand what the black woman has gone through. What the fuck?
No, I think it's mutual.
No. What do you think? What do you have for me on the topic? What are we talking about? The focus fallacy.
I've kind of gotten like inside the black culture too, where they tell you, you gotta wait. I got out of a 5-year relationship, probably about 3 years ago, and everybody was telling me, you need to focus on yourself, go to school and just wait on dating. Don't, come back out. So now I've been stuck because I've been single. Now, how long have you been single? And, well, not from the 5-year relationship. I've been talking to guys, but it's been about 3 years since I've actually been in a real relationship.
You have any children?
No.
So who was telling you that you needed to wait?
My mom, my friends, my aunt.
What is your mother's husband? What did it say?
She doesn't have one, but
okay. Then why are you listening to her? She'll know the fuck she doing.
She definitely doesn't.
I'm trying to say this because so many. I'm gonna say them. Go ahead, ladies. Let me tell you, your mothers sabotage a lot of you. Your mothers love you, but they don't. They love you. They won't say it, but they don't want to see you do better than them. Because if they do, they will be moving differently. They will be telling you, daughter, don't make the mistake I did. Get a man, do something, learn how to cooperate with a man. So, what are you doing with yourself?
Well, now I'm in school. So when I got out of that relationship, that I wasn't doing nothing. So he basically took care of me. So now, when I got out of that, I'm in my last year. This is my last semester of school. So
what are you going to school for?
Sociology.
Oh Lord, another useless degree.
And what honestly,
are you going to do with a degree in sociology?
I didn't realize that I wanted to do human resources until like now, but that's pretty much, I really got into to sociology because I just wanted to learn more about like, it's not really not because it's easy, but because I like the research and I really want to.
Okay, but when you guys, I want to know, when you sat down with the college counselor and you were picking degrees, did you pick a degree based upon the careers that it could produce? No. The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no. Where else can people go sign up for tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt and not know what it's for?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get to understand. If you're in the humanities, ladies, let me say this to the audience. If you're a woman with a humanities degree, sociology, psychology, communications, business administration, business management, marketing, anything like that, you fucking need a husband. Science, technology, engineering, math, law, medicine, pharmacy, accounting. Those are the kind of degrees that you might not need a husband. Mostly everything else, unless I missed them, if it ain't in the College of Engineering, the College of Mathematics, if it ain't over on that side of the campus with science, technology, engineering, and math, you need a husband. Unless you're going to the law school. And at 27, sociology. I ain't had a relationship in 3 years. Cool. What's next?
I don't have a next. Now
Okay, at least you're honest.
Yo, so she got checkmated early. At least she's conceding to the points. But yeah, that's very funny. And I guarantee you she's probably not even working in the field in which she studied for. So again, she's got into debt, another useless degree that's not getting her a job in the field that she wants to work in. And she's trying to figure it out. Insane.
No,
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5". Well, 5'6". Yeah,
5'6"? Dress size?
Yeah. I wear 12 in dresses, so I weigh about 180 pounds. I think last time I weighed myself, I was 187 pounds. So I definitely need to lose. Definitely. But I used to be 260 pounds when I was in that relationship. So I definitely have, I guess, gotten a little better.
Okay. All right. Let me come back to that. You know everything I'm gonna say. What would I say right now?
In these 3 years, why haven't I been focusing way more?
Well, do you ever want to get married?
Definitely. Definitely.
Do you want children?
Yeah, I want like 6 kids. Crazy, huh? I want a big family. I've always imagined a big family. But I'm late. I'm definitely late.
No. See, y'all don't sound like y'all take life seriously. A woman who said she was 260 pounds, now you're down to 190. You're getting a sociology degree at 27, and you talking about you want 6 kids? You sound like kids who are making out your Christmas list. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want. But it's not serious because everybody has a sexual marketplace value. It's a credit rating. It's an amount of money you get to spend on the marketplace. It's what you can afford. Men have it, women have it. Can you afford a man that can afford 6 children? Is your sexual marketplace value high enough to afford a man who can provide for a wife and 6 children?
Well, no, but granted, I will work. Like, I'm not one of those women that's be like, I'll put in 10%. Like, I definitely want to contribute to my household. Not only
what percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime?
For a lifetime, I mean, I'll say at least 40 to, not to say I want to go half for him, but I definitely take up at least 40 to 50% because
40. So meaning if you stop bringing in income for any reason, the family is in serious financial jeopardy.
You're right.
Is that what you're saying? You want to have to be responsible for a lifetime? Think about that question. Basically says, what do you want to have to contribute? Meaning, if it's not there, what's at risk? So now, under those framings, what do you want to have to be responsible for financially for the family for a lifetime?
I'll take that back. Give me, I guess the normal answer, 10 to 15, 20%.
What state do you live in?
Women, we do
what
have
state do you live in? What state do you live in?
I live in Georgia, Atlanta.
How much would a man need to make to afford a wife, 6 children in Atlanta?
I'm gonna assume at least 800K or to above. But the thing is, I really can't explain it. Like, I'm not looking at the dollar amount, I guess, because I watch my.
Of course you're not, because you ain't got to fucking spend it.
Yeah, you're right.
Ma'am.
You're right.
No cap. There's no nice way to ask this question. There's no nice way. At 800,000, what kind of professions would a man need to have to make $800,000 a year?
I'm gonna assume at least a lawyer, accountant. He has to be an engineer. Probably that. Shoot, at this point, an entertainer. He would have, like, now that I think about it, for 800K, because they're not even making that a year. So, yeah.
I want to go back to what I said 5 minutes ago. You're not serious. You're laughing. I mean, I'm asking you serious life questions. You're like an attorney, a lawyer, an accountant. What accountants do you know that are almost millionaires?
Well, I was thinking more like a business, like somebody, into really high business. I mean, my cousin's into business, and I know that he's bringing in at least half of $1 million. So I'm.
How old is your cousin?
Well, now I think he's 42 or 42.
And what does your cousin do for a living?
Well, he works for Primerica, so yeah. And they just
and
hit
you've seen his
their
paychecks?
500. Well, I know because they have levels in Primerica.
You've
so
seen his
once you
paychecks?
get, like,
You've seen his paychecks?
no, but they
You've seen his
celebrate when they
paychecks?
hit
No, ma'am, I
certain
know
numbers.
Primerica very well. I have a lot of respect for Primerica. You've seen his paychecks.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
No, I haven't.
what professions, careers would a man need to do? You said an attorney. What percentage of attorneys, what kind of attorney do you think would make $800,000 a year? What kind of practice? Huh? What kind of practice?
I would definitely say defense. Definitely defense.
Defense is just.
Or no. I'll say what is the one when they do wills, like probate or something like that? What's the one when they do like the wills, like when the big guys like pass over?
Okay.
Those people.
Okay. Tax, probate.
Something like that.
Okay. And why I'm asking these questions is because I need you ladies out here to understand that women like I'm talking to, and like so many, you guys have just been able to you've been given a menu and said, order whatever you want. And you don't think about the cost. You don't think about anything. So this means a lot of you don't think about family planning or financial structures or anything else. So when I start asking you questions about the man, it's like, you can't even tell me what kind of law. Most attorneys don't make nowhere close to 800,000. Personal injury, corporate tax, very few. Family, very, very few. And what percentage of men make $800,000 or more, do you think?
Well, I would take that. I'm not even going to say that they need to make. I feel like 800,000 kind of.
Ma'am, we're not going to change the number. We got the number. You just can't change it because it's starting to get uncomfortable. You said 6 kids in Atlanta, and you ain't going to be living in East Point.
Right.
So don't change it. And the thing is, what percentage of men do you think earn that kind of money?
I say at least in Atlanta, I'm definitely under 10%, under 5%. Under 5%.
What percentage?
I say 5. I say 5%.
Look, 5 is insane. She believed most men in Atlanta make nearly $1 million a year. At least 5%. Completely diluted. Just completely diluted. And even if she was like, you know what, 800K may be a lot, I guarantee you the number wouldn't have even been even been more reasonable. She would probably say, you know, let's just go $500,000. Insane.
You're out of your
The
mind.
number is 800K.
No, ma'am. You're talking 10% of men earn $100,000 or more. You're talking about top 5%. You're talking about in the 0.1%. So, see, when I ran that number about single black millionaires, you're talking less than 200,000 men nationwide. Around 200,000 men. And here's where it gets really hard, where it gets extremely hard. You don't have to know the profession. How old are you? 27? What's the oldest you would want your man to be?
No older than 40. No older than 40.
So you want almost a millionaire man at 40 years old.
Well,
ma'am, it is what it is. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying this is how irrational.
Well, I was really answering the question about 800K for 6 kids. Honestly,
well, that's what you said you wanted.
But I wouldn't, of course, like, you know, be looking for a guy to make an 800K. Like, that's not kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you want to make it, but you don't want to pay more than 10% of the family financial load, and you do want children.
Right.
Do you want to marry an average man earning $41,000 a year? $20.50 an hour?
No, that's no. Definitely not.
Ma'am, you're 5'7", 187 pounds, down from 260. What would you rank yourself? Fresh face out of the shower, you can't use 7. Your natural face, your natural hair.
This is definitely my natural face. I give myself at least a 7, 8. 8.
I said you can't use 7.
Okay, 8. Definitely an 8.
So you put yourself up there with Beyonce.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Well, we don't. You are 5. You're average.
He said, "You put yourself up there with Beyonce." She said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Yeah, well, we don't." She thinks she's on the same level as Beyonce. We have eyes. We can't see you.
You're a solid 5.
I guess it's all up to, the person.
No, it's not. See, the difference is most people have opinions. I'm trained in this stuff.
Right.
You can think highly of yourself, ma'am, but have you seriously dated a man earning $200,000 or more? Legally.
No.
Have you dated a man making $150,000 or more legally?
My ex, he made, but like I said, it didn't work. It didn't work, so.
Okay. So why do you think you can get 4 or 5 times more several years later? See, the ultimate question I was going to ask is, do you think you or a woman like you is a worthy prize wife for a man that's in the top 1%? He's got to do a lot to be in that income bracket.
Right.
So, do you fit that?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, at least you got that now. But the question is, you give yourself an 8. Right up there with Beyonce. I mean, if we put your face and Beyonce's face next to one another, you're saying 50% of the men would say, I want her. 50% of the men would say they want Beyonce. That's what you're saying to the audience. That's when you say you put yourself up there with her, man.
Honestly, I really wouldn't care what where somebody will rank my face, or you know,
but see, that can't be the answer. That can't be the answer. That's the part of the problem. You ladies don't care, but you freaking gotta care. Because you ladies judge men all the time. But when we stop. Why wouldn't you care what men want? If you want one of these men to pay for you and the kids. I'm trying to make it make sense. Because you're going to tell me I wouldn't care what they think. So should a man roll up to you? I don't care what you think about me making $41,000 a year. Shit, submit to me and go make my babies. And what I'm trying to show you guys, I'm not trying to humiliate anybody. What I'm trying to show you guys is the difference in what women have been told. That they can have it all. And you don't have to care about a man. And what I want. City girls, we up and da-da-da, get the bag. And that's what this leads to. To young women valuing themselves extremely high based upon little more than ego and personal pride. And you start trying to put some things to it that for a market, and then it looks like I'm tearing people down. But yet you do the same thing to men. I do have a question though. Why would you not be okay with an average man, an average earning? What do you do for? You say you want to get a degree in sociology, right? You get a degree in sociology. Okay. So you'll be in HR or something like that, right?
Not yes. I'm actually an intern now with my job for.
Okay. HR professional. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You said you'll be an HR professional.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't nod your head. You just got to answer. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You got to be audible. HR. We got to show. You can't. Okay, so that means you're going to be earning between $40,000 and $60,000 a year. That's the average, around $50,000. Why can't you get with a man who's average earning too?
Honestly, that's what I was. Honestly, that's why I was saying $800K was kind of high, because I feel like even with me making, let's say, about 50 to 60K, and then he's making another, you know, even if he was making like 80K, 90K.
No, not 80, not 80, not 80. 80 is in the top 15%. I said 41 average.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the person.
No, it doesn't.
Of course.
Because see, what you're doing right now is you're sitting there trying not to offend men, but ultimately saying you will be settling for a man earning average money.
I kind of don't want to be making more than my husband, though. Of course not. I don't want to make.
Well, hold on. You're not guaranteed to make more. HR people earn 40 to 60 where you are. And if I can pull up the numbers in Atlanta, it's going to be around 42. And here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. If you don't want to be making more, no, don't overtalk me. If you don't want to make more, then you should have got married early. This is what women often do. I don't want to be making more than my husband, yet you guys wait too long to where you're earning too much. You ain't earning nothing yet. But I want to know from all my average men out there why why they aren't good enough.
I never said they were. I never said they wasn't good.
Okay, then why guys like that wouldn't be fit? Whatever it is, man, when I asked you, would you be willing to marry a man making $41,000? You definitively said no 3 times. So when we come back in here and talk about what they got to do and split hairs, you didn't make those concessions back then. This conversation is helping people, whether it's comfortable or not. It really is.
Right.
because I want you to understand that your non-black counterparts don't do this. White women get with average white men. Hispanic women get with average Hispanic men. Middle Eastern, Asian, other, they get with average men, especially average. We got women in our community who, you know, you were a large woman at one point, and even losing weight, you're still bigger than a man. You know that. Okay. You've got no children. You would give yourself, from a pride standpoint, an 8. Cool. I give you closer to a 5. All right. No, either way, you're not. Anyway, I don't want to split that hair. I don't want to go down that path because it goes.
Sure, we will. She's definitely not worthy of a man even making anything over 50 or 60. She'd be lucky if she gets that. She'd be lucky. You guys would be doing her a favor at that point.
But either way, it puts you around the average to above average category. There are men who would say you're below average based upon your weight. I'm going to be honest. There are men who would say you're below average based upon your weight, and then the tattoos and all the other kind of stuff. But I'm not making those judgments. My thing is, you seem to want men who are outside of what a lot of men would perceive as a sexual marketplace value. And then when I ask you about that, the answer I recall you saying is you don't care what they think.
Well, I was saying I don't care what they think as far as my looks. Like if somebody was to be like, oh, I feel like she's a 5, or I feel like she's like, that does not bother me because I'm not sleeping with those people that think about that about me, or I don't even care what they think about me because I'm never going to see those people. So I don't.
Okay, well, okay, but so my retort to that is, there are men in the marketplace. What men do you care about then? The man you would want, right?
Yeah, the man I want one, not somebody that's just gonna troll me on the internet.
Like, ma'am, it's not about a man trolling you on the internet. And the men that you would want have higher standards than the men you find that you think are trolling you. That's the point. The men that I'm talking about are just a cross section of men, average men. But you want an above average or an elite level man, and those men want even more. So if you don't care what the guys who are trolling you ain't worth your time, are you what the men you want? Are you what they want from a woman?
I definitely have work to do. Let me say, like,
All right,
I still have more work.
If you've got work to do, that's always the question. If you got work to do, if there are women that are already there and it's crowded up there, and this is what men. Why are you so thick? Why do you have to get one of those? Why can't you get a man that's already on the level you're at right now? Because if you're saying you got it, you not. So what you are saying is, I'm not up there yet. That's what I think we're both hearing you say. Am I right? You said I got work to do, which means I'm not there yet.
Right. I still feel like
Hold
I
on.
definitely want to lose more weight.
If you're not there yet, that means I still got work to do. Yes or no?
Correct.
Right. But where you are right now, would you accept a man where you are right now? And where you are right now is much better than where you were when you were 260 pounds.
I would. Like, I don't have a problem with somebody. It's just that I find it like dudes that make, I guess, I'm not even gonna say 40, dudes that making it, like, let's say the warehouse jobs that normally these dudes work now. Like, if they're making like $30,000, they don't have, for me, I feel like they don't have enough ambition. Like, they don't want to get up and go.
All right. Huh? Man, I hope Kevin checks her. I hope he just does it right now.
Go out, do things like it seems like they're all about just talking and not actually doing things. It seems like the only guys, well, in my experience that I've come across, that are open to, living life are older guys that's making more money. And it seems like when I get with guys, that are making less, I'm doing more than them, i.e. helping them get a car, like their car breakdown, or I'm helping them pay bills.
You went all the way down to a guy who's you went to a guy who's making $30,000. That's not a guy who's making average money. You just tried to equated. Hold on. I'll let you speak. You equated a guy who's making average money to a guy who's making $15 an hour and lacks ambition, and that's disrespectful to average men. I won't let you do that. I let you speak because I want you to get your I let you speak because I want you to get your thought out. But I do want you women to start making different distinctions, because you talk about men like we're all the same in their levels. And what has come through is the men that you want are above your level. And the men that are on your level, you don't necessarily want. And you say because they lack ambition. Well, ma'am, the men who have ambition have wives that look like that. That's the hardcore reality. Being in HR is not ambitious. It's a job. And this is part of that city girl, get the bag, we up, such and so forth. You got average women talking like y'all are boss bitches. And you're average, talking about ambition. At 27, you haven't been rude, you haven't been nasty, but the mindset is still the same. So we're gonna put a comma right here. We're gonna fast forward. Okay, this was tough. Let's just get all the way to the end. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it doesn't work out. You never really find the guy who's on your level or that you're quite a fit with. It just wasn't in the cards, and you don't have any kids, but you've lived a professional life or whatever. At age 55, if you're single and childless, what does life look like? If you're unmarried and no children, what does life look like for you socially?
55, no kids, not married, I'd definitely be depressed. I'll be honest with you. I'd definitely be depressed, probably more than likely.
Okay. If you don't get married, are you going to have enough money to pay for your retirement and live comfortably from age 65 to 85?
Definitely, because I'm definitely planning for retirement now. So
how much would you need to retire to live from 65 to 85?
Based off my math, I think it was right at about 300 something K. It was right about 320 or something.
You think $300,000 will last you 20 years of elder care?
Well, based off my job, and like, let's say
no, ma'am.
I'm hoping that I have.
No. I asked you a straightforward question. You're saying $300,000 to last 20 years.
Yeah, because I'm expecting
okay,
for my house to be paid off.
Listen. $300,000 for 20 years. Ma'am, that ain't even $20,000 a year. That's like $16,000 a year. That's poverty wages. Let me give you the real number. Okay. 1.9 million. If you were 25 and making $50,000 today, 0 children, not married, and you got a cost of living rate increase for the next 40 years, and you stack $200 away every month for the next 40 years, you would still have a $750,000 shortfall in your retirement. And what I'm showing is that women, without men, you underestimate or overestimate the notion that you think in your elder years, because I guess you're going to say, I'm going to have my house paid off, my car. It is extremely expensive to age in this country. But we keep pumping this city girl youth culture to our women to where you guys are miscalculating your geriatric years and you're mismanaging your prime years. Which is why when I asked at 55, you said I'd be depressed. Ma'am, based upon this conversation, that is much more likely. Much more likely based upon this conversation. So I would say go back and listen to this dispassionately. Run the number. If you have somebody who worked at Primerica, I got a lot of respect for Primerica. The numbers, I know Primerica. I was in Primerica. I get it. But man, 1 point, and you're HR, 1.9. You can't think $300,000 is enough. So what am I telling the audience? What did I say earlier? Unless you are a woman earning a lot of money, a husband is not a luxury. You need a man. And that's what hasn't been told to our community. It's not a want, it's not a desire. And the way you've described a man, I asked you specifically, what do you want? And what you've given me is what you want. And that's how you pick men. You don't pick men based upon need. Not once have I heard you talk about the needs. I haven't asked about the needs, but I gave you room to speak about them. We haven't talked about the man's character, his ability to lead, what he is. I focused on what I know women actually do and give women an opportunity to talk about the stuff that's really important. So it's not that like as though you couldn't answer those things. So go back and listen to this, man, because like I said, our non-black counterparts, women, then you get upset. Then y'all get upset when the guy get with a white woman. Hold on just a second. I'm bringing I don't know. Sharita. Confusion. Sharita. Hello. Hello. First name. Hiya. What do you got for me, Sharita?
Comments.
Okay.
I put in the comment section.
Okay. Comments about what?
I guess like just, it's just not, I guess, just the man to woman ratio, and it's just not a lot of masculine men out here.
There's not a lot of what?
I mean, just men who, supply security to have kids and a family, and
Really? Where are you at?
at your most vulnerable time.
Where are
you know
you
what
at?
I'm saying?
Where are you at? What state?
I was in Alabama, but I live in Georgia now.
Okay. And you don't. There are not a lot of men out there. What do you mean? Okay. Well, obviously, you can tell she doesn't have one because you can tell she doesn't have one because listen for the chirping of the battery and the smoke detector in the background. Clear giveaway that a woman is single. Chirp. Well, the number.
Funny how you just quickly breezed past that, but of course, the single woman tell. You know a man isn't in that house if you hear that fire, that smoke detector keep going on.
Numbers just don't support that. How old are you?
I'm 38.
38. Well, the numbers don't support that. How tall are you?
I am 5'4", size 8. I have no kids and no debt. And
hold on. Size. How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I don't weigh myself. I know I'm a size 8.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Women that don't weigh themselves, that's a red flag. You should weigh yourself. It's a healthy thing to do. When was your last relationship?
It's 4.5 years ago.
And who ended it? Who ended it?
It was a mutual agreement.
Nope, that's bullshit.
Okay.
Try again. Try
it
again.
Was a mutual agreement.
Try again. Nope. Just try again. Try again. Nope, that's bullshit. Somebody ends a relationship. Somebody agrees with it. It's not mutual.
I actually left because he's not a provider.
Okay, and how long were you guys together?
We were together for 2 years.
Okay. And did he lose his job over that time frame?
Nope.
And do you have any children?
I don't have any kids.
All right. What do you do for a living?
I was in manufacturing for four and a half years.
So you work at a plant?
So we work 7 days a week. Yes.
You work, okay. Did he work at the plant too?
No.
Okay. And
He
what I'm
worked
trying to
in
understand,
wood construction.
what I'm trying to understand is you said he wasn't a provider.
Mhm.
And a provider for what? You weren't his wife.
Well, basically, I mean, he wasn't able to take care of another family. I mean, he already had 3 kids of his own, and he
Okay.
was, yeah.
But you knew that when you started dating him.
Yeah, but men
But
tend to seem
hold
like
on.
they got it all
No,
together,
oh
and
no,
then that's
no,
the
no, 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 no. You knew he had 3 kids when you started dating him, and you said you left him because he wasn't a provider. He didn't lose his job, and you knew he had 3 kids. He wasn't your husband, so what did he need to provide for you?
I mean, I guess just security, just
What? Well,
if you're
why? What?
actually going to, I'm saying if you're actually going to have kids with the person, that you need to
Well, you
know
need to,
you're going to
but
be
see, but no. As a girlfriend, you don't need provision. That's a wife.
okay. And that's why we're not together.
But that's
And
not
that
what
is
you
why I'm,
said.
and that
That's
is
not
why
what you
I'm,
said. That's not what you
yeah,
said.
because he couldn't, yeah, because
Okay, slow
okay.
down. I'm just look here, man. Don't get frustrated at me. I'm just repeating what you tell me. So that's all I'm just questioning what you
Yes,
tell me. So if you get frustrated,
yes,
it's
sir.
you're 38. You're with somebody for 2
Yes, sir.
years who had 3 kids. Did you want to marry him?
Yeah,
Did he want to marry you?
yes.
But you did not marry him because you would have had to work?
I mean, I was still working after he left. I mean, after I left him.
No, 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 no. He was working. You were working.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to marry him. You say you wanted to marry him, but you said you
Okay.
did not marry him because he wasn't a provider. If he was providing for himself while he was dating you, why couldn't he continue to do that after you guys were married?
It's just situations where, I mean, I would have been fine with starting a family, but how can I explain it?
Well, how about this? Do you expect the man to pay all the bills?
No, obviously I mean,
Well,
I
no,
was
not
working,
obviously,
but
man,
what I'm
because you
saying is
listen.
when
No,
you
see,
want to
when you're
have kids,
okay,
you're not gonna be able to worry
not gonna
about
do
that.
that. What the fuck you think you're talking to? But that's not gonna work. You don't overtalk me. So, um, look, ma'am, if you're gonna have a conversation, we can have it, but don't overtalk me. You can unmute yourself. You can hear me, ma'am.
Okay.
I can hear you. Do not overtalk me. That's the only thing I don't allow. You're getting all down the path of having kids and everything else. Did he ask you to marry him?
Yes.
Did he propose?
No.
Okay. So, if you guys had gotten married, you wanted to have children,
Yes.
and you guys broke up how long ago?
4.5 years ago.
All right. So you were 34, 30. All right. So,
Yeah.
um, the net result of your breakup was somebody you were with for 2 years, who their provision was just fine to maintain a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, but you broke up with him under the reason he can't provide. Well, ma'am, he's still working. You're still working. The only thing you don't have is a husband.
Okay.
You lost. You didn't, it's not like you left him and got with somebody else who was able to provide. You're
No,
34 years
single.
old, ma'am. You're 34 years old. You're not a young lady in the dating world. You're on the other side of dating, already in the high risk pregnancy zone. You haven't had any children, so there's been no increase. See, if you're being honest with me, saying because of provision, it doesn't make any sense because you're working just as hard as you had to work when you were with him. You just don't have a man.
So you're saying make a deal?
No, I'm saying be a grown up. You are working just like you are working, and all you don't have is a man.
Okay.
You got nothing. You still get up and go to work every day at that plant. You come home and you got nothing. And see, the problem is black women like yourself have been taught to think black men are so worthless to where it's better to do what you're doing than to have a man by your side. But the fact of the matter is, that's why so many of you are dying alone. No other race of women has thrown their men away and are not subsequently dying alone.
And that's ultimately where I'm gonna go. Alone.
Dying alone. Yeah. But you said you left him because of provision. And that's not the really 72% of mothers in this country have to work full or part-time. So, and if you're being honest with me, you're saying you expected to have to work even after you were married and pregnant. But I don't think you're being honest with me. I think that you really want a man to be able to pay the bills.
Yes, that's exactly where she's alluding to, but obviously she's not going to say. But see, here's where you have to deal in just practicality. You have to just be practical. If you sit there and you're complaining about a man not providing when you're not either his wife or you don't have any children with him, or there's no need for you to have any type of provision, and you sit there and say, well, this guy's he's not helping out, he's not providing for me, but you're working anyway. If both of you guys are working and you lose him, all you do is just lose someone else that you could have built with and could have potentially helped you in any other area of your life. Even financially, even if it's a little something. But now that you don't have any of it, you're pretty much doing it at 1,000%. Yourself. There's no one else that's going to come in and help you in any other avenue of that relationship or financially. It's just going to be you. You're going to be doing everything. You're going to be taking out the trash. You're going to be paying all the bills. You'll be doing everything. But you're like, nah, this guy isn't worth it unless he's providing for me.
No, I paid my own bills for 13 and a half years.
Congratulations. I don't know why you women say that like it's a badge of fucking honor. It's being an adult. Men don't walk around saying, I paid my bills for 13 and a half. Who gives seriously, that shit's stupid to me. You paid your own bills. Good. You live there. Ma'am, you don't have a relationship right now. That's all I'm saying. And you haven't had one for the last 4 years. All you lost was a man. He didn't do anything to you. He didn't abuse you. He didn't cheat on you. You just said he couldn't provide. And he sounds like he was working and providing just fine.
He had other vices, but okay.
No, ma'am, that's not, you can't bring that up. Nope. But that's not how we do that. You can't change the argument. I listened very well. And then let's get on to the next part. That's over. 51% of black men are single and childless in this country. 64% of black men are in the middle class. That means over half are unmarried and no kids, and almost 6.5 out of 10 are in the middle class. Black men are out here in the middle class and working. The problem is women like yourself can't seem to keep relationships. What's the longest relationship you've ever had?
That one.
And sadly, in
I mean,
almost
a few
40,
in
and
high
sadly,
school
and
also,
listen to
but
what I'm about to
that's
say,
it.
man. Listen to what I'm about to say. And sadly, in almost 40 years on this planet, the longest you've had was a 2-year relationship. Ma'am, that is sad. 2 years in 40.
Well, I was indoctrinated by Christianity, and you know, they put off
Don't
relationships
put
and
this
all
on
of that
Christian,
stuff.
man. No, man.
I'm
Don't put
not
this on
I'm not
Christianity.
saying that, but
I'm a
I'm just
Christian
saying
myself, ma'am.
the way I think.
No, ma'am. No. Not gonna put this off on Christianity. I hate it when women do that. I'm a Christian myself. Christianity ain't told you to go out here and be single. It
But
says be
I mean,
fruitful
but
and
you don't want
multiply.
soul ties. You don't want soul ties from idiots.
Oh, excuse me. Well, if that's the case, then why are you having sex before you're married, woman?
I said you don't want them. That's why I'm not.
See, again, here we go with the Christianity shit. Always a reason instead of being accountable and honest. Ma'am, 51% of black men are single and childless. 64% of middle class. That means they're out there and available for partnering. You, in 40 years on this planet, could only maintain a 2-year relationship with any man. The problem isn't the men. The problem is women like yourself are unfit for relationships. But instead of focusing on that and addressing it, you continue to point out to everybody else, the men, Christianity, and it's in the mirror.
So you telling me to work on myself?
You're the only common denominator in your lack of relationships. Because if you're what you say you are, a dress size 8, how tall do you say you are?
I'm 5'4".
So, and you've never weighed yourself, which is amazing to me. People who don't tend to weigh themselves tend to be overweight. I don't believe you're dress size 8.
I could have been 154 when I last weighed, but it's been, I mean, I've been
Okay.
the same size
Let's go down. But what would you say? How would you rank yourself? Just your face on a scale from 0 to 10, right out of the shower, no makeup, your natural hair, and you can't use 7.
Wow.
That's who you really are. What do you say? Wow, that's who you really are.
She's like, I don't weigh myself, and damn, you want me to rank myself with those parameters, knowing that I can't lie to you? Damn, that's crazy. Let me go ahead and feed you guys more delusion. Don't catch on to what I'm doing yet, please.
I don't wear makeup. So I mean,
Okay, then the rating.
business of rating myself. I mean, I have long hair that is mine.
The rating.
And I don't wear it. I mean,
the rating.
The rating?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm an 8. I'm an 8.
You're an 8? Okay.
My
So you put
self-esteem is pretty
yourself
high
so you put yourself up there with Beyonce. Yes or no?
Besides the money and the fame,
You
yes.
put okay. So all right. Instagram. Why don't you turn, if you're a camera, if you're really an 8, turn your camera. No one's gonna see you. Because if you're telling me you're a 38-year-old woman who's attractive as Beyonce and in reasonable shape and can't find a man, oh yeah, the problem is damn sure you. I mean, this conversation is an indication of how difficult you are to get along with, man. I do this in real life. Wow. Yeah, there's a reason almost 5,000 people are here, because in Alabama, in the South, if you're really 150 pounds, that means you're a little girl.
How do you turn this camera on?
Here's how you do it. I'll do it right here. Ask to start video. Boop, boop,
Sure.
boop, 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 boop. Let me put this all right. Now you put yourself on the same level as Beyonce. You're an 8. I think it's good to have, confidence, but ma'am, you're not an 8.
That's the woman that confidently said that she was an 8? Are we serious? Did you guys just catch a glimpse of that? That woman right there that just said that she's on the same level as Beyonce. Insane.
I will give you, you're cute. I will give you like a 6. And why is that important?
Thanks.
Why is that important? Yes. Why is that important? Because when we overrank ourselves, we tend to think we deserve, we tend to overshoot our mind. Men can't do that. The world tells us what we are often. But being a 6, being cute, it just makes you a little bit above average. Okay? But that's fine because most people are average. That means you have had plenty of men who are suitable to your lane, as it were, come into your world in Alabama. And if you can't seem to pick one and deal with one, it's not because they don't exist, which is where this all started. You muted yourself.
Hello?
Yeah, you muted yourself. I'm saying that if you can't find a man, you've had plenty of suitable men come into your world in Alabama. So yeah, have you ever had therapy?
Have I ever had what?
Therapy, counseling.
No.
Would you ever consider it?
I have considered it.
What would be the holdup? I mean, I'm a big fan of it. What's the holdup?
I guess just getting the help. I mean, just I guess find the resources to get the help.
You got a job. You just go, you use your insurance and you go find a therapist. Because why I say this, ma'am, is we all have lots of thoughts and opinions and things like that, right?
Right.
But at 40 years old, no, childless, 40-year-old, almost a 40-year-old woman who's childless, you're running against nature. Your biological imperative as a female on this planet is to reproduce, not to get out here and work like a man and pay bills. It's to be with a man, and you don't do that. And there's a reason. And if you don't get a hold of the reason, what happens is at 38, you still remember yourself in your 20s. That whole black don't crack thing is a big downside for a lot of black women, because once you hit about 40, 45 years old, it's a wrap. The options go through the floor, especially once you cross 50.
Mm-hmm.
And in Alabama, again, ma'am, I would say you need someone to talk to flesh out these things that got going on, because in 4 years, you mean no one's asked you out on a date?
I work a lot.
I don't care.
I mean,
okay, so how do you have? Okay, so you haven't had sex in 4 years?
No, I was just one of those girls who, out the womb, they said, "Hey, get a job or
but no offense, man, but your sex drive still works.
Yes, I just don't use it.
Right, and this is natural and healthy. No, there's even in the Bible it tells us to be fruitful and multiply. Better for a man to marry than to burn. You've gone 4 years without sex. There's something wrong here, man.
Okay.
And this isn't the place to suss it out, but I wanted to bring some of these things to your attention. People told you to call in, not to be rude, but there are men out here. And see, for women like yourself, it's easier to say, well, the reason I'm where I am is because there are no men. No, there are plenty of men out here. The reason is you got all these reasons why I work, I this, I that. No. because somebody should have tried to have sex with you in the last 4 years. If not date, someone should have tried to approach you for sex. I said, rubber meet the road. Somebody has come along and hit you, hey, let's Netflix and chill.
Hey,
Hello.
Kevin.
How are
Hey.
you?
I'm well.
How old are you?
I am 53 almost.
All right. So what did I get wrong, or what do you disagree with me on?
Okay, so let me see. Now, I feel like Will wasn't 100% wrong. Now, you talk about his mental state, but we have to understand that he is a human being, number one. He is a man, number two. Okay. And that being said, we look at him as an actor. We see this person, we believe that we know these people's lives oh so well, and we really don't. This is their jobs. This is what they do. Okay. Him and his wife, we don't know what's going on between them. We don't know the hurt that this woman has behind losing her hair. Okay. No one knows how this woman is feeling when she's reaching for her hair.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. So if Will Smith would have shot Chris Rock, would that have been okay?
See, that's a little extreme, Kevin.
No, it's not. No, it's
Why
not.
isn't it?
Well, first off, you didn't answer my question.
No, it wouldn't have been right.
Okay, so there is a line that would have been wrong.
Okay.
I'm just asking. I'm just saying there is a line where you would say something is definitely wrong.
Yes.
All right. Where is that line?
I would say the line would be the disrespect.
No.
The blatant
where's the no. Where is the okay? There you say a slap is permissible, but murder isn't. So where is the line between slap and murder? Where does it cross?
Well, there's a huge line. I'm sorry.
Where?
And of course, if you guys don't know what they're speaking about right now, the incident with Will Smith and Chris Rock, Kevin gave a monologue on this, and they're following up with the conversation.
About where though? About where? Where would Will Smith? What should he? There has to be something between those two because you said it's extreme. Okay, where's the dividing line?
I would say the dividing line would be, once again, I don't know his thoughts. No one knows what was going on.
Yeah, but what I'm asking, let me be more clear. What is the action? What is the action that will be the dividing line?
The action that would be the dividing line would probably be a slap as opposed to a gun. That's the opposing line.
Okay, but I want to be fair. You said that's a bit extreme, okay? You said that's a bit extreme, Kevin, and I said, okay.
Yeah.
So, what's the next step then? Because if a gun is extreme and a slap is permissible, what if he'd have punched him? Would that have been okay?
Actually, I thought he did punch you.
Okay, what if he would have punched him 3 times?
What I can't understand is, people, I mean, it's like, we have to still understand. I see where you're going with this, Kevin, and I have great respect for you. My son is a huge fan. He's your little mini me. But anyway, and I thank you for that. I just want to throw that out there. But let me just say this. We don't understand what's going on in people's, like you mentioned, mental health. That's a real issue in the Black community that isn't being addressed as it should be. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But what you also have to understand is you can only take so much on this journey. But
ma'am, we're roughly the same age. And what you didn't say is what we both know.
What's that?
The line is when you decide to put your hands on somebody.
Oh, well, yeah.
But no, but you're saying that now, but you can't say that and then saying slapping is acceptable.
Kevin, if you are disciplining your children, slapping them as
ma'am, this is not disciplining my child. This is no different than when somebody's on public versus private property. You got to you can't go apples and oranges. All the mental health and everything else is
Why
fine.
not?
Because it's
Why not apples and oranges?
because it's two different arguments, man. We're old enough to be able to hold two separate thoughts. We can't.
Yes.
So if you're saying a gun shooting him is too far, but a slap is okay, no, both of them are wrong.
I don't agree.
Really?
I don't
The law
agree.
calls it assault.
Yeah, and a gun is murdering somebody is shooting someone is murder.
Right, and hold on, man. But if you went to jail, or if you got arrested and you were held accountable for those crimes, would you be punished the same for a slap or murder?
Absolutely not. You and I both
Because
know
one
that.
is more extreme than the other, but they're both crimes.
Kevin.
Ma'am, okay, that's simple logic, ma'am. The simple logic.
But it's simple, but it's not.
It is very simple, man, because it's simple for the fact that would Will Smith have walked up there and done the same to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
I don't know. Who knows?
You damn right he
Maybe
wouldn't have, because you damn right he wouldn't have, because The Rock would have. Excuse me, hold on, you can't overtalk me. You can't overtalk me. You can't overtalk me. You can't overtalk me. Nope.
I apologize.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would have beat his monkey ass.
Well.
So what I'm trying to get you ladies to understand is you're arguing in your emotion, but it doesn't make logical sense. Make it make logical sense.
Well, you want me to make it logical sense, Kevin?
Yeah.
And the logical sense for me would be, I don't see where Will Smith was wrong. I see where Chris Rock was being very disrespectful. This is my take on it. Every human being has their own take. We don't know what was going on. These are these people's lives. All we're doing is forming an opinion.
Well, no, ma'am. This is where we don't. We live in a country and a society of laws where we sit down as a populace and determine right, wrong. And we have sat down in society and said, when you decide to put your hands on somebody else, your rights stop where mine start. When you do that, we've decided that's against the law. Therefore, all that we are human beings stuff stops, because we can apply that to anything. You got a house, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm in a bad way. I'm going through a lot of shit. It's hard out here for a pimp. So I decided to break in your house and take all your shit. I ain't had sex in a long time. It's hard out here for a pimp. So you know what? I'm a little hard up, a little horny. So I roll up on you and knock you in the back of your head, and whatever happened. Oh, those things will make very common, clear sense. But when we put it as slap versus disrespect, that's gray. Come on, man. It's against the law.
Well, Kevin.
Well, Kevin, you see, when we're operating with logic, it's a little befuddling. But Kevin is making perfect sense here. And I think the true test is to make more women that are watching this scenario that agree with that and say, you know what? Now it's time to use logic. I'm going to test the logic of the people walking around here.
Let's not forget we didn't write the laws. That's number
Will
one.
Smith signed Will Smith is a member of the Academy. He signed a contract that has code of conduct. They're not supposed to do anything that's supposed to make the Academy look bad. If you look, ma'am, you're trying to argue a point instead of just saying
you wanted somebody to disagree with
I do, but I want you to understand why you can feel one thing, but if okay, let me ask you this. What would the world look like if if the world operated according to your way? When people just act on how they feel once they've crossed the line, what would society look like?
It would look exactly like it's looking right now today, Kevin. It would look exactly. It would mirror.
I think you're being a little hyper. What state do you live in?
I live in California. I live in Marin City, California.
I think you're being very hyperbolic. We don't live in a society like that. A society like that, you couldn't even be. It's called The Purge. You ever see the movie called The Purge?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
what. Okay, or you ever see The Walking Dead or something like
yes.
that? Ma'am, you're being no. You don't live in a world where people can just do what the hell they want to.
Well, in a sense, they do.
No, not in a sense. They don't because they fear the law. Will Smith walked up to another black man who's a family man, who has children, who has a mother and father, who has fans. This is Chris Rock we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he went and open slapped him. And you're saying that we don't know what Will Smith is going through. We don't have to know. I don't understand why you're saying we should understand Will Smith when that's wrong.
And I don't understand why Chris Rock didn't get his lick back. That's what I don't understand. But that's a whole nother subject for me.
So you really don't see an issue with what Will Smith did?
Not at that moment. No.
What does that mean at that moment? What does that mean at that moment? Hold on. When you say at that moment, what do you mean?
I mean, just the heat of the moment.
Okay.
He's looking at his wife pissed off.
How old is your son?
My son is 19.
19.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful time. Also dangerous time for us as young men.
Hold on.
You just cut me off. No. That's not. We don't do that. We don't do that, man. That's one thing I do not allow ever.
Okay.
It's just disrespectful now.
I apologize.
Beautiful time for a young black. Beautiful time, but also a dangerous time for a young black man, especially in California.
You're right.
If a young black man, when your son were having an argument, and the other decide to take your son's life, just in the heat of the moment, would you? I mean, come on, man, you can't make that.
Absolutely not.
Okay, but that's where that ends, though, ma'am. You said Chris should have got his lick back, and then where does that end?
See, can I? Do you mind?
Go ahead. Where does it end?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me say this. This generation, as you and I are in the same age bracket, this generation has no idea what it means to fist fight. They don't do that anymore. So if it's a slap, I prefer a slap than a bullet any day of the week. So,
but man, we're talking about the Oscars. We're not talking about on the basketball court.
What does that mean? Because you're in a.
What does it mean? What does it mean, ma'am? Okay, no disrespect, ma'am. But there's one thing where men are competing or something and so forth. There's another thing where a man just said, "Can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see you." And Will Smith throws his head back in an open belly laugh. You did see that, right?
Yeah, it wasn't an open belly laugh.
It was, man, threw his head back. Ha ha ha. Man, trust me, I don't just get up here and say stuff. Okay. He laughed. Threw his head back, ha, ha, ha. Okay. And then he goes and walks up and slaps a man. That's not a fight. Will Smith didn't have a problem with it initially until he saw his wife's response. And then he decided to go attack another man on her behalf. So he said.
So.
Would you want your husband to do the same?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you better slap him twice.
Okay, so
all right, look, and this is the exact type of woman that is gonna feed her man right into the prison system. And then look, and if you don't do it, as soon as you get back home, she's gonna be on you for not assaulting another man and throwing your life away to the prison system. She'll go around telling all her friends, could you believe he ain't do this? Just the things you got to worry about. Take notes.
I hear you. And you'll be willing to visit your husband in the penitentiary and lose all that money and resources and everything else. And you'd stay with him
So allow someone to blatantly, publicly
excuse me, ma'am. No, ma'am. You would stay with him through the legal process, through the loss of property, through anything that came with it. You'd stay with him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you, ma'am. I don't understand. So I don't get why y'all say disrespect. He told a G.I. Jane joke. What you said that's disrespect to the point that we should allow assault?
He did what he did.
No, that's not what I asked.
You're asking me about someone else?
Yeah, because you're saying that. So, and I'm gonna tell you, man. I'll be honest. Are you married, by the way?
I'm sorry.
Are you say you were married or not?
Yes.
Women who think like you are dangerous for men, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because the reason Will behaved in the way he did is because Jada supports that kind of stuff. After all, she was down for Tupac. You're talking about two megastar black men being reduced to a slap and fisticuffs over a benign joke.
So, who's the joke on now?
Black men. We look like some goddamn fools.
Or do we look like protectors?
No, we look like fools. We look like fools. This Will Smith.
Look like fools to
excuse me, man. To the world.
To each other.
Excuse me, ma'am. Why do you think? I want you to understand why do you think I'm going so hard for this? This man, Will Smith, and his wife have had a interesting relationship. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
She openly called her husband to Red Table Talk to discuss an entanglement with her son's friend who was a junkie.
Mm-hmm.
That's disrespectful.
You're absolutely right.
Where was the smoke for Jada? Where was the smoke for August? Where was the smoke for any of that? Chris Rock, a friend, a colleague, a Will Smith, made a joke about Jada, love you, G.I. Jane, can't wait to see you. He didn't say, hey, Jada, how does August taste or feel? Or he didn't say anything like that. It was not disrespectful. It was about as benign of a joke as you can get.
Can I please?
Go ahead.
It's only disrespectful to the person that's feeling disrespected. Now,
that's what comedians do, ma'am. That's what comedians do, though, ma'am. That's what comedians do. Okay, ma'am, can we agree, though, on one thing?
What's that?
Is that not what comedians do? That's their job description. That's their job description. There's a thin line. There's no thin line. No, man. No. Absolutely not. There is no thin line. If you watch the Kings of Comedy, Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, Cedric Entertainer, and D.L. Hewley, he made his name on roasting the audience. Mm-hmm. Ma'am, if you are in the Oscars, they bring comedians there to pierce the ego. That's why they're there. Have you ever asked why the Oscars is hosted by comedians? They do it to not take themselves so seriously. That's the purpose. Chris Rock was at work doing what comedians are supposed to do. Poking fun and making light of things that you and I can't do. Well, who even knows if he knew that woman had alopecia? How about this? If she didn't have alopecia, would it be disrespectful?
Kevin, honestly.
Answer that question. Be fair. Okay. Would it be fair if she just cut her hair off? Would it be disrespectful? If she cut her hair off, would it be disrespectful? Huh?
Any low blow.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Comedians. If she didn't have alopecia, would it be disrespect?
Yes.
So
if it made her feel uncomfortable, if it made her feel like that inside of herself and her husband felt that energy from his wife, yes. It was disrespectful.
I need you to understand. I'm trying to be serious here, ma'am. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Are you listening to what coming out of your mouth? You're saying that comedians have to calibrate their humor based upon people's potential up and down feelings at any one given moment.
Can I respond?
Yes.
Either you're going to, up and down people's feelings, or you're going to get slapped. You never know what may come your way. They've had comedians, people throwing stuff at the comedians on the stage. It's only so much that people, you can't do that to people and laugh it off.
Shit, ma'am. These people come to oh no, ma'am, absolutely not. This is crazy. Ma'am, it's not like these women, it's not like she was forced to come. She didn't have to attend.
Yeah.
She's been at these things. See, yeah, and I want you guys to understand, this is how far many women, black women in particular, will go to defend black women.
And what's wrong with that?
Because you're not above God. You're not above the law. What the fridge toast is wrong with y'all?
Wait a minute. We all we got, Kevin?
You're not, if this is what it is, we don't need you.
How could you not need us?
Because this is dangerous to us as men.
Okay, then what's your alternative? Someone who doesn't look like you, know you, or even...
Have you been watching my show?
Oh, yes, I have. My son has me hooked.
Excuse me. Yes. Do you think Jada Pinkett Smith is the ideal wife for a black man?
She's the average wife for a black man in 2022.
Y'all better pay attention. I want you to understand.
Think so?
Ma'am, I'm gonna go there. This is excuse me, man. Hold on, whoa, check that shit. Now hold on, wait. I'll let you rock, but you won't do that to me. This is who's raising these girls. I want you to understand. This is who's raising these girls. This is their mama. Sir, whoever you are is my fan. Your mama's out of her damn mind. You out of your motherfucking mind.
Kevin.
Ma'am, we don't need women who think like this. That you get up here and put a barrier in your back and you assault somebody just because they told a joke.
See, you're taking it too lightly.
I'm not taking it too lightly. I'm taking it the fact that, ma'am, it's not like they were walking down the street and somebody said, damn, your wife got a ball in head. We're talking about don't overtalk me. We're talking about two public figures, two stars. And Jada Pinkett Smith is known for putting her business out there. I'm not taking it too lightly. You're taking this shit too seriously. If they were that insulted, why didn't they get up and leave?
Kevin.
Why didn't they get up and leave?
See, I don't know why. But like I said in the beginning, I don't disagree with what he did. And I don't believe I'm out of my mind. And this,
you want your son to risk his freedom.
I just feel like
so you want your son. So you would want your son to risk. You would want your son to risk his freedom and his acquisition and everything else, and for something like this.
May I?
Yes.
Okay. That's not the point I'm trying
to. Yes, it
is.
That's the point I'm asking. Chris Rock, Will Smith is someone's son, just like Chris Rock. Would you want your son to risk his freedom?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why?
But would I want my son to not defend his family and his wife and be disrespected in front of people that hate your people? And you're going to sit up here and...
What do you mean? Wait, whoa. What are you making? You're making this... Okay, ma'am. Absolutely. You're making this a black and white issue? And
I will not... I will
Now, see, I want you to understand, people. This is who's raising these girls. And this is why they are so... No, this is why they are so... This is why they are so... No, ma'am. This is who...
Don't do that.
Oh, I will do that. Trust me, I will do that. This is who's raising these girls. She has made this a black and white issue, a racial issue. This is a black man telling a joke about a black woman who's a celebrity, and you making it everything it does. They will go to this length other than hold black women accountable. And they want you to jump out of the window and do this shit.
Not true.
You just said, ma'am, I'll let the audience in the comments.
Yeah, audience, please, are we missing something? That's exactly what she's alluding to. She would want that man to just jump out the window, do whatever you need to do. Make sure you protect the family. Listen, that's not protecting the family. Moving smart through those situations, navigating those situations correctly is the best way to protect the family. But what this woman is saying is she just wants them to go out and do whatever you need to do to make it right. Physically.
To decide. Man, I'll let the audience in the comments decide.
And you know what? It's okay.
Of course it is, because you don't have to pay the consequences for your foolishness. A black man would. Your husband would. Your son would. See, black men, it's okay because you're the one that'll be dead. You're the one that'll be in jail. And women like her will be out doing what the French toast they're doing.
Not true.
Yes, true. Let your lying ears determine the truth of what you just heard.
Once again, we can agree to disagree, and it's okay. I'm sure everything in the Smith family will be all right.
What about the Rock family?
I'm sure,
So if the Rock family felt some kind of way, what if okay, let's just play it your way. What if Miss Rock said, you know what? It's all fair. Will smacked you. So I'm gonna go shoot Will because he disrespected my husband, my ex-husband. That's my family. We'd be all right with that?
Well, then we got a murder mystery popping off.
No murder mystery. She walks up and no murder mystery. She walks up and caps Will.
Yeah.
And it's all fair play, right?
Kevin, why do you have to go to the extreme?
Because sometimes, I'll tell you why I go to the extreme. Because it's the only way to get some black women's attention.
Not true.
Ma'am, you just proved it.
You don't have to go to the extreme to get our attention.
Okay, what does it end, ma'am? What does it end? You say it's disrespect to family. Okay, Chris Rock is a man. He got family.
Yeah.
You say he should have got his lick back. Okay, he getting his lick back. Or she getting her lick back. See, when you go violence, it never stops. And violence can escalate. And what you don't want to seem to recognize is, ma'am, this was a petty infraction that you want to make a big global issue about protecting a black woman's ego and such. Jada Pinkett Smith is not a shrinking violet.
May I?
Go ahead.
Okay. What would you have done, Kevin?
Which position? Which position?
Just give me one moment. Sitting at the Oscars with your wife, who's suffering a sickness.
You're asking me if I was Will Smith. You're asking me if I was Will Smith. What would I have done?
I was trying to give my.
Well, you've already. I mean, it's either one or the other, and we don't need the mom. We got another show. If I was Will Smith, what I would have done?
If you were Kevin, what would you have done?
Man, I would have let it ride.
Oh.
I would have let it ride because I'm Will motherfucking Smith. You're Jada Pinkett Smith. You got alopecia. He said, G.I. Jane, you ain't dying of pancreatic cancer. You're in a gorgeous green gown on the red carpet. He don't even know. Before I'm going to put my hands on a man, I'm going to know that it was an insult. He don't even know why, if Chris Rock knew his wife had alopecia. You don't know any of that stuff. You're just assuming it. But let's assume that Chris Rock knew she had alopecia, and Chris Rock was being malicious about it. Let's just assume that. Let's assume that Chris Rock is an evil, dirty motherfucker. I still would have let it ride because I'm Will motherfucking Smith. And when no, you asked me. And when I won my Oscar, I would have used my bully pulpit to make him look like a fool and to gain even more, and then highlight my wife and bring attention to the disease she's suffering from and bring awareness to it. See, we still forget we are of Malcolm and Martin, not this bullshit. There's a better way to handle this than violence, and I am not going to forget our people are above this shit. You can pipe this shit all you want to. We need better from us.
And I agree.
Then don't tell me, then you ask me what I would have done. Will Smith could have done that too. Ma'am, he is an actor.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay. It's not okay. It's an international TV. He is trained. These people have media people and PR. They're trained for this kind of stuff.
But he's a human.
You're
emotions,
so fucking what?
feelings.
That is not an excuse.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. And I
Sure
want you
it
guys to
is.
understand, these are the
It's
mothers.
instantaneous.
Shame,
It was
insults, guilt, and the
spontaneous. It was a
need to be right.
spontaneous
These are the mothers. And deal with the motherfucking consequences. These are the mothers. I let this go so y'all can understand. These are the mothers. No logic, no reason, nothing. It's always my way or the highway. And you wonder why so many women fear their mama. You wonder why so many boys are confused. Nothing. There's a healthy debate and then there's just foolishness.
So where's the foolishness?
The fact that there's nothing that will get you out the point that man should have kept his hands to himself. You keep going back to the fact that he's human. Well, if he's human, ma'am, then he should pay the consequence.
And what's that? Jail, or getting shot by.
Whatever it is. In your world, it's Hatfields and McCoys, man. In your world, it's Hatfields and McCoys. But I tell you what, I hope your black son has more sense than you sound like you got. Yes? All right. What do you got for me?
Just chime in. This is my first time with you. I watched your video about the twerking. And well, I didn't meet my mother until I was 23. And my dad raised me. Excuse me. My dad raised me as a single father. And I've never heard, like the young lady said, I've always heard men, or my dad told me to watch how a man treats his mother. I've never really heard what you're saying. I
How
mean,
old
I'm
are
not
you?
saying I'm 31.
All right. And so you didn't have a woman in your life?
Yeah, I've had, like, my dad was married for 13 years. So I had a relationship with her, but it was never
At what
like
age? At what age did she come into your life?
when I was 11.
All right. So I don't know you. But one of the things that tends to happen when women don't have a woman in their life is they tend to really become masculine. They tend to become masculine because fathers are cared about your survival.
Right.
And your dad is going to tell you what he tells you to survive. That's fine.
Well, my dad is also, and I've been listening to a lot of your videos while I go to work, and a lot of the things that you're telling the young women, my dad has told me, and specifically talking about us as Black women. We do have to run. We have to run it out. We can't walk it out because there is it's a ratio of, like you're saying. I would say.
So is your dad ever? When was your last relationship you've ever had?
Monogamously, or like, just
whatever you was the
somebody.
last relationship. That tends to mean 1-to-1.
Okay, 1-to-1 about 7 years ago.
Yeah, but so what are you out here doing? That's what that means.
All right. So you were 24. How long was that? How long were you guys together?
We were together about 6 years.
Oh, so from 18 to 24, why didn't you guys marry?
Because he wasn't ready to do what I was ready to do. He was still playing games, and I had graduated from college, and I was ready to go on and be a family and do
You have any children?
No, I don't.
How old was he? Was he older or the same age?
He was about 3 years older than me.
All right. So 7 years ago was your last relationship. So you want to be married?
Yes, I do.
All right. So I'm going to tell you that you want children?
Yes, I do.
How many?
2. 2 is good.
And I always ask this question. Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child?
Well, that is an interesting question because I watched that show too. And I mean, I do. And the reason being, I stay in California and it is, you have to be a hustler to make it
Okay.
out.
All right. So I'm just trying to get some basics. So if you want to be married, that's fine. You want 2 kids, that's fine. But my concern is you're coming across as you have a masculine energy about you.
Okay.
And
I
your tone. Um and this doesn't surprise me. When girls are raised by fathers, there's a tendency for fathers to harden their daughters.
right.
And I'm sensing a lot of hardness.
A
You
lot of
need
what?
hardness, hard. Your tone is like, yo, what's up, dog? I'm feeling you got a booming voice. I'm like, all right, ma'am, that's cool. But husbands don't tend to hear wives like that. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6",
Dress size.
16.
Come on, ma.
But you
Really?
know what?
No,
No,
no, I
wait a
don't want it.
minute
I don't want
now.
to know. No, 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 no. You're
I'm
not going.
working on it. I'm
Yeah,
proud of
but the thing
myself.
is, how you get to be a dress size 16 with no kids?
Well, I mean, I like to eat. I can't lie
Well,
about
that's good.
that.
Well, good. All right. Well,
And
but
I'm
see,
hippie. I'm
there ain't no
hippie.
hippies.
Man, you know what? Typically, the women that call into the show is, they're all delusional. But this woman is funny. She's still delusional, but she's at least funny with her delusion. She's honest. Yeah, I like to eat, and I'm a hippie. Man,
See,
A lot
then
of
see, black.
curves.
No. See what it does. This is one of the main reasons you ladies are single. You make excuses for being obese.
No, I'm not making an excuse. That's not
Listen.
an excuse.
Okay,
I don't have any
but
excuses.
when you look that men don't like, man, my dress size 16, that puts you every bit around 220 pounds.
Yes, it is.
At 5'6", you're the size of a fullback.
Okay.
And I'm saying it in a light way, man, but
Well, no, you keeping it real, and I
I
don't
am,
because
but the thing is, you
young
ladies,
men have told me
you
that
can't
as well.
overtalk me, man. That's why I say that's masculine. I keep trying. Okay, look, I get it. It's a tender subject, but listen, you only can have one struggle. We can only have one. You can't have multiple struggles. You can't be a masculine, uh, deeper voice woman and your size. That just won't work. Not for the outcome you want. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because I mean, my father has told me that as well. He keeps it real. So
So, I mean, this is one of the things that I don't understand because as a father, you're supposed to tell we all know how our daughters look. And I'm like, look, I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you rank yourself? Just face alone, out of shower, no makeup, no hair extension or weave. And you cannot use 7. 0 to 10, where would you rank yourself?
8.
Beyonce is an 8.
Yeah, I have beautiful skin.
Beautiful
No
skin,
makeup.
but you got beautiful skin, but Jack, you rank yourself an 8. You're saying you are on par with Beyonce in the face.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'll just take it for the sake of conversation. Then you're wasting. If that's true, then you're wasting pretty.
What'd you say?
Then if that's true, you're wasting pretty.
Well, I'm trying to not waste it. That's why I'm working on
Okay.
myself.
How many days a week are you in the gym?
3 days. I actually walk around the lake. That's about 3 miles a day.
So you don't go to the gym.
Well, in my city, the gym's not open.
All right. So again, remember the first thing you said, I agree with black women. We cannot walk, we gotta run, and you're not even running. You can't
I am
walk.
running. I
Listen. Oh
am
no, I
running.
need you
I
to
am.
listen. I need you to listen. Check the ego. It's not about you personally. You're not in a position. Okay. Walking 3 miles is not enough. You need to be changing your diet, to a plant-based diet or a majority plant-based diet. Increase your water intake. You need to be hitting the weights to
Well, now,
build.
see, I
I need you to
understand. I don't mean to
listen.
cut you off,
No, you're not
but
gonna cut
you
me
asked
off. No,
me.
you're not gonna cut me off. What did I
Okay,
say?
okay. You're right. You're right. Go ahead.
How the fuck? You don't cut a man off, ma'am.
You're
This is
right.
not what you
Sir.
do, especially when it's my show. That's why I said
Yes,
this says that
sir.
masculine shit. Ma'am, if you know, then do it. If you know what to do, then do it. And there's no way if you knew what to do.
I have been, but nothing happens overnight. And
What do you
that's
mean
the
nothing
thing.
happens overnight? This is okay. You ain't been this. Okay, when's the last time you were a healthy weight?
Well, see, here's the thing. I was
When's
just
the last
size
time you were a healthy
24.
weight?
Maybe about 8 months ago.
Okay, so 8 months ago you were 140 pounds.
No, that's
When's the last time you were a healthy
that.
weight?
I've
How's the
never
last?
heard
No,
that
you're a
from you,
5 foot. Yes, you have. You're
Never.
5 foot.
Not for
Okay,
me.
okay. I'm
ever.
going. Okay, well, you're 5'6". A healthy weight for you is 130 pounds.
Never heard that.
Well,
ever.
guess what? That's why. This is why so many of you guys are losing. You think a healthy weight just means the fat fell in the places you like it.
No, I don't think that, sir.
Okay, well,
That's
okay. How
not
much
what
did you
I
weigh?
think.
How much did you weigh 4 months ago?
I was 195.
God damn it, 200-pound woman has never been a healthy weight. The fuck are you talking about?
I thought it was appearance, and I
No,
agree
it's
with
not
you.
appearance. You weigh more than a man.
What man?
Any man at 5'6", the average weight, the average height of an American male is 5'10". His average weight in 1960 was 165 pounds. The average American female is 5'4". Her weight in 1960 was 125 pounds. Listen, listen. God damn it. Don't tell me to fast forward shit. I'm running my show the way I anyway. That's why I said what I said at the beginning, y'all. It's that masculine energy. Ma'am, I didn't put you in this position. 200 pounds. I mean, listen to what she's saying. Just because the fat fell in places that guys, low value guys typically like, it's all right. It's not about appearance. There's no place where a 5'6" woman who's 200 pounds has a good appearance. Now, I'm going to ask you to please not talk over me, ma'am. That will not work on this show. If you can unmute yourself, if you cannot overtalk me, if you can, I'll bid you a good night. Ma'am,
Hello.
Simply this. A man in this country, 5'10", normal weight or average weight is 168 pounds. You're almost 30 pounds over the normal man in this country. That doesn't change for the black community. So unless your dad is a big guy.
He is. He is. He's 6'4", big guy.
I'm 6, and how much does he weigh?
He's about 3. He's like a linebacker. Like
no, ma'am, he's not a linebacker. I'm 6'4", ma'am. See, I'm 6'4", 215 pounds.
Yeah, he's much bigger than you.
No, that he is morbidly obese, not a linebacker.
Well, he's solid though.
Ma'am, ma'am, I don't give a. You're over talking me, ma'am. I don't get. Yeah, I'm done actually. I mean, I don't know what I'm getting upset about. This is how far we've fallen as far as she's still trying to make excuses. A man 6'4", 300-something pounds is on the way to death. And you are too. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. You're on your way to death. And we got to stop playing with this stuff, acting like it's a goddamn game that we can sit around and a woman be 5'6" and think I was at a healthy weight at 195 pounds. Ma'am, you need to go see a physician. You need to get your blood work done. You need to go sit down with a personal trainer and a nutritionist, get you together a life plan, and start living and start eating and working out for life. You're in charge of this process and it's not working. Walking 3 miles around the lake is not enough. That's maintenance work after you're already at a healthy weight. And telling me that you don't remember being 130 pounds tells me that you've been this size since junior high at best. And I don't find anything funny about any of this stuff. That's what I'm looking in the chat room anyway. I don't find it. This is why our Black community is dying. 80% of our women just are clueless about this. And you got to understand, ma'am, that the kind and caliber of man that you could attract at 230, 240 pounds, do you think that's going to be a man who's a provider, protector, paying bills?
Well, I mean, at 200 pounds, no. I mean,
you're not 200. You're more than that now. You're
well,
230
yeah,
plus.
I'm 235 pounds to be exact.
So what kind of men are you attracted? What kind of men will be attracted to a woman that's that size?
I mean, you know what? It's up for debate.
Not up for debate. Why you keep saying it's up for debate?
Well, because I mean, I know successful women who are bigger than me, who are married and who've been married for
But
years.
you need to. You personally know them?
Yeah, I personally know them.
And how long have they been? And they've been married for years. So were they 235 pounds when they got married?
Yeah, they
All right,
were.
man. Well, good luck with that, ma'am. See, I can't do it. I can't do it. This is the extent Black women will go to justify this bullshit. I
Well,
refuse
it's
to
not a
do it.
justification.
It is
I mean,
justification for this bullshit. You weigh more than a man. And the only thing that should be coming out of your mouth is, damn, you're right. Other than, well, it's up for debate. And shit up for debate. Black women are dying by themselves. 80% of our children are born to single mothers. 80% of you Black women are overweight and obese. 1 in 4 of you will marry in your lifetime.
yes, and
These are all
that
real.
was
And
the
I don't,
ratio. Yeah,
excuse me? You
that's the
learn that on
ratio.
YouTube.
That's the ratio I gave my dad. That there
But
is
but
a 1
but your
to 4.
dad, ma'am, all you have to do is, what part of California do you live in?
The Bay Area.
The Bay Area. All right, walk outside and see how many Chinese women do you see your size, your age, and your size?
It's very diverse here.
I know. Is it the majority?
No.
No. As far as your age, and far too often this has become normalized. Your father's morbidly obese. If he's 6'4", 300 plus pounds, that man, if you probably took a look at his arteries, I hope he has a physician, because I don't want to see people dying of stroke and all this other kind of stuff. But at 31, ma'am, this is a recipe for disaster. And all I'm hearing is, well, it depends. It depends. Just because you may, men typically don't go marry women that are bigger than them.
That's true. And with this woman, she just has poor relationship skills, but then also it shows men that you have no control. It shows men that you could keep going and that you will never tell yourself, this is where it needs to stop. I need to stop doing this. There's no discipline. So that's why when men see it, it often translates to other parts in the relationship. And throughout life, with life, you need discipline. So again, Kevin is surgical as always and checkmate already.
Especially not productive, competitive, successful men or men of value. If he can't carry you across the threshold, what's the point of taking you to the house? Someone will have sex. Men will have sex with that. And that's the bad thing for men. That's a bad thing for Black men. You guys just deciding to kick it with women like this has made it to where they honestly think that it's not that bad.
Well, it is bad though, because the thing about it is I mean, it's like you talked about a high quality woman. And I mean, and women having high standards or whatever, and they wanting this particular kind of man. I mean, I do offer a lot, but
What do you
because of
offer?
my appearance is
What do
the
you
interference.
offer? What do you offer?
Well, I'm a helper. I'm gonna help my man.
Hamburger
I'm not
helper?
hamburger helper, shrimp helper. I
Well, I mean,
mean,
you're a helper, meaning
whatever it
what?
is that he needs.
Okay,
I
but
mean, if he need a button sewn on his shirt,
all
we in
right.
the
But the
midst of
last time you had a relationship was 7 years ago, right?
yeah, because you know why? I haven't found a deal that I can accept. And I
Whoa, whoa,
mean,
whoa, whoa, whoa! Back up, back up, back up! Don't just roll past that. What do you mean a deal you can accept?
well, like I said about the 1-to-4 ratio. If there is a one man and there is 4 women to that one man, 2 of those women are just gonna get fucked over. Excuse my French. And it's only gonna be 2 of those women who are really gonna be into battle, and one of the women he's gonna marry and love. So if that's the ratio, then it has to be a deal between me and the other person that's in agreement.
Man, what you just said was a bunch of hogwash. I don't even know what you're talking about. You you haven't had a deal that you can deal with. Who is trying to marry you?
Anyone in particular,
No, no, no,
anyone in
ma'am. No, no,
general.
no, ma'am. See what you're
I'm
talking
just
about.
you're
So first
speaking
off, first listen. No, no, I'll let you speak. I said 1 in 4 black women will get married in their lifetime. I didn't say it's a 1-to-4 ratio. All I'm asking about is you said you cannot have a deal that you can keep. Who is seriously approaching you for marriage?
that's the point. There isn't many marriageable men in the dynamic
Bullshit. That's why
right
I said
now.
what I said. Bull.
Like
Listen and listen very
it's
well.
and
Listen, listen. I
I'm
know, no.
listening.
Listen and listen very well. 51% of black men in this country are single and childless.
Yes.
Listen, 64% are in the middle class. There is not a shortage of marriageable, eligible, available black men in the middle class. There is a shortage of women who are fit for marriage.
And I think that you're misinterpreting me
I
because
listen to what you said. I listen very well,
I'm not
ma'am.
saying that I'm prepared for marriage right
But
now.
you saying you
I'm
had a deal
giving
that
you
you can. You said a deal that you can keep, and that implies
exactly.
that.
I said I
But that
haven't.
that implies that you can pick and choose between offers. You don't have any offers. You just talking. Woosah. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Lacking fundamental communication and ability to get on accord with a man is something that troubles far too many black women. All these stats, all these statistics, all these figures, just verbal vomit and diarrhea. When you're walking down the street at 235 pounds, no, you don't have men of value, productive, competitive, successful men trying to date and marry you. You're bigger than they are. Whatever you may bring to the table could be perfectly lovely, but men are visual, and you're failing the first test. Too many of your ladies try to talk yourself into desirability. It won't work.